I lost my sight in both eyes trying to save Elena. Under the immense pressure of the situation, she agreed to marry me. On the day of our wedding, right as we were about to exchange rings, a man in the audience fainted. My new bride immediately threw her ring down and anxiously rushed to help him, eventually leaving the venue with him. I was left standing there alone, a blind groom facing a room full of whispering guests. She had told me once that even though I had lost my eyes, she had lost her freedom to love. Freedom. Isn't that a nice concept? But the irony is, after I finally set her free, she ended up searching everywhere for me. It turns out I had the wrong impression the entire time. Elena didn't want to marry me. She just went along with it for a while because her family pressured her into it, and she couldn't find a polite way to refuse. Our marriage was really just a mutually beneficial arrangement on paper. I was the only one who was secretly in love with her. That day, she had told me, "We shouldn't be tied together. I don't want us both to struggle like this." I didn't want her to struggle either, so I smiled and agreed to call off the engagement. But then, a car accident happened suddenly while we were on the road. I instinctively jumped to shield her. Flying shards of the car window cut into my eyes. From then on, I was plunged into complete darkness. Today marks the second week since I lost my sight. I feel as silent as death inside. At first, Elena would hold me for a long, long time whenever I had a breakdown. "Mark, it'll get better," she'd say. "I'll find the best doctor for you." But then, when it was just the two of us in the hospital room, she stood there awkwardly and asked, "Why did you save me?" I had suffered injuries far worse than hers while protecting her in that situation. I couldn't see her expression, but I could feel her unease clearly. She was troubled, knowing she would owe me forever. I don't know how long she stood there, until my arms, which were clasped around my knees, went numb. Finally, she said softly, "Mark, let's get married." I lifted my head and tugged my lip into a smile at the endless darkness. "Elena, you don't want to marry me." I hadn't spoken in a long time, and my voice came out hoarse and harsh. She took a couple of steps forward and sat beside me on the bed. After a few seconds, she held my hand. "Don't think too much about it," she said. I pulled my hand away. "Elena, you're blaming me, aren't you?" Blaming me for using my eyes to tie her down. Her silence was the answer. I was about to tell her to leave, to say I didn't need this kind of pity from her. But then she said, "I saw the suit you posted on your social media. I bought it for you. When you're out of the hospital, I'll take you to try it on, okay?" In that moment, something in my mind collapsed. The image of that suit floated in front of me, so sharp and handsome. I had dreamed countless times of wearing that suit to marry Elena. Until Elena brought the suit to me and placed my hands on it. It was tailored perfectly, the fabric crisp. In that moment, nothing else mattered. The wedding came as abruptly as it seemed inevitable. People joked that Elena was truly romantic, bringing the wedding forward even though I was blind. Others said she had no choice given the way things were. I acted like I didn't care, but my hand, hidden by my side, trembled. Elena fixed my bow tie delicately. From behind me, she described my outfit from my hair down to my shoes. I couldn't see a thing, but I could tell she wasn't all there mentally. I asked, "Do you regret it?" She paused momentarily, then said faintly, "It's almost time." Elena led me up the steps, matching my slow pace. Though I couldn't see, I sensed petals floating in the air and imagined Elena in a bridal gown that matched me, looking beautiful. In that moment, I managed to forget that she didn't love me and truly felt happy. If this was a dream, wished for it to last just a little longer. I thought once I married her, I would ask if she remembered meeting years ago. And then I would tell her that I'd been secretly in love with her for years. Just as Elena was about to slip the ring onto my finger, she froze. Then a man's voice, sounding somewhat like he was sobbing, reached us from not far away. "Elena." Instinctively, I tightened my grip on her hand, feeling an unease creep in. But with a louder thud, the crowd grew restless. People were saying that the man had fainted and fallen down the steps we had just climbed. Elena let go of my hand. She ran quickly, and the sound of her footsteps showed how anxious she was. I reached out helplessly, finding nothing. Seeing nothing, a chill seeped into my heart, inch by inch. As Elena helped the man out, she didn't have time to offer even a simple apology. It turns out she already had someone she loved dearly. She loved him enough to ignore what others thought. She loved him enough to leave me, the blind groom, without hesitation. The shock took me back to the hospital. My parents, heartbroken, told me they'd never pressure me to get married again. But isn't this my own fault? I was the one who kept dreaming the impossible. That evening, the phone rang, and I knew it was Elena. Her calls had a special ringtone, but when I picked up, it was a man's voice. "Mark, it's Brad. We went to the same high school, didn't we? We were even friends, remember? It's too bad we lost touch after graduation." For a long moment, I couldn't say a word. This was Elena's number, and the caller was Brad. He was the man Elena left with from our wedding. Finding me silent, his voice turned cautious. "Mark, I'm really sorry. I know I shouldn't have disrupted your wedding. But I just couldn't help it. I can't let Elena go because the truth is, we're the ones—" I didn't catch the rest. My heart ached intensely. Curled up into myself, I remembered high school. Brad was a year below me, a really spirited kid. Once upon a time, when people thought I was hard to approach, he was always by my side. So back then, all my secrets, all my crushes, he knew them all. But I didn't know he was with Elena. And now he's here to tell me that even if I marry Elena, I'd still be the third wheel. Turns out when I liked Elena long ago, she liked him from high school until now. Days passed, and the storm of rumors slowly subsided, and only then did Elena come to find me. In the hall, everyone wouldn't let her see me. My dad slapped him. "How dare you come looking for my son? Plenty of girls like our Mark. But you? Blind? Embarrass him in public with your broken engagement?" Elena's dad laughed awkwardly, saying he'd scolded Elena, and she wouldn't break the engagement again. "Mark's been wronged. Elena deserves a punishment, and she should apologize properly. No other man will be welcomed into our home but Mark." Throughout this, Elena didn't say a word. Until I opened the door, and suddenly everything went silent. Elena softly called my name. I sent everyone away and walked step by step towards her. As she reached out to support me, I quickly pulled away as if shocked. I will never forget how she dropped the ring and ran off with another man to ditch our wedding. I thought she came to say sorry, but after a long silence, she lightly said, "Mark, I will marry you." That sentence broke the last shred of dignity I held on to. "Elena, do you feel any guilt toward me? Or did you always think I was the one making things hard for you?" Marrying her, her apology, none of it came from genuine regret. But now she can still say she'll marry me, making me look like the most pathetic person alive. "Mark, we're both trapped here. You lost your sight for me, and I lost my freedom to love." At hearing this, my longtime crush shattered. The freedom to love. What a notion. I laughed, but the humor was dry and raspy, and eventually I looked down. "Elena, I won't marry you. I wish you freedom. I canceled the engagement on my terms. Not long after, Elena found a renowned eye doctor abroad for me, saying they'd restore my sight. I knew she simply didn't want to feel tied by the gratitude for my saving her. She didn't want any more entanglement with me. Despite my occasional emotional instability, I would cooperate with the treatment just as she wished. Later, I learned this doctor was Elena's classmate from studying overseas. Her name was Dr. Sarah, young yet already a rising star in ophthalmology. She wouldn't tell me directly if my sight could be restored. She just checked me day after day, persuading me to stay positive. Sarah would also share stories about Elena. "She asked about Mark yesterday," she would say. I remained silent. "Actually, she cares about your situation. She's mentioned before that you guys were close friends," she added. Close friends? I smiled faintly. Back then, there was no talk of marriage between us. The first time I saw Elena on a business occasion with my dad, I recognized her instantly. She was the girl from my youth who vanished, and whom I secretly admired for years. As our work interaction grew, we got more acquainted. She once said she had a special feeling for me, that I understood her thoughts so well. I nearly confessed my long-held crush. Then the families discussed the idea of marriage. My folks would say we made a perfect match. I thought I should let Elena in on my secret, but I never considered that once she learned about the arranged marriage, she turned distant, saying it was a misunderstanding, and she only saw me as a friend. Now I get it. She didn't forget the past. She never remembered. Days went by, and my eyes showed no improvement. My friend Dave took me to his bar and placed a cat on my lap. The cat was adorable, nuzzling against me repeatedly. I managed a rare smile. I told Dave he didn't need to keep watching over me. The more people hovered, the more useless I felt. Once, Dave left. An unexpected guest joined me. "Whiskey, like the gentleman here," he told the server. His voice was energetic, the complete opposite of mine. "Mark, remember me?" he said, then quickly added, "Oh, sorry, you can't see." My hand trembled slightly. "I'm Brad. We talked on the phone. Long time no see." I smiled. "It's been a while." "Are you still mad about me and Elena?" he asked. I shook my head. "Nothing to be mad about. Just feel stupid, I guess." He chuckled. "Then why keep in touch with her?" I frowned. "What are you trying to say?" "Elena still cares about your eyes," he said. I told him, "Tell her I don't need her concern." With that, I didn't want to talk to him anymore, and got up to find Dave. Brad reached for my hand. Instinctively, I pulled away. He stumbled and fell to the ground with a loud crash. Even though I couldn't see, I could guess what happened. I was just curious how a person could change that quickly from being a good friend to secretly getting involved with Elena, and now here he is, provoking me for her. What's true and what's fake? Then Elena appeared seemingly out of nowhere. I was somewhat speechless. Such a cliché scene. I didn't even want to explain. Elena asked what happened. Brad played the victim. "I saw you sitting here alone, worried about his eyes, so I came to check on you. You might still be mad at me and pushed me out of impulse. It's okay." Elena called my name, emotionless. "Mark, I cut in. "Can you both stay away from me? I'm blind. There's no show to put on for me." Elena helped Brad up and told me, "Brad is innocent. If you're upset, take it out on me." I laughed in disbelief. Such lovebirds. "Elena, see how innocent your Brad is," said Dave, walking over. "Here's the store's surveillance playback. Enjoy." The footage roughly showed how I pushed Brad. After watching for a while, Elena was speechless. Brad's act was uncovered and he was visibly shaken. "It's my fault," Elena admitted. "Misunderstood. I wasn't standing properly. He probably thought I wouldn't let go easily. Now he must feel even more insecure." Brad, apologize to Mark, Elena instructed. Brad must have looked shocked, stammering, reluctant to speak. I smirked. No need, just don't show up in front of me again. Otherwise, I might actually act out. Elena and I have ended up in such an uncomfortable place. When Dr. Sarah checked my eyes, I was as calm as a lake. Mark, don't lose hope. With a suitable corneal transplant, you might see again. Thanks, Sarah, I said. I know many who've lost their sight like me may never get the chance to see again. Sarah has probably seen many like me, so she knows how to care for patients emotionally without showing any pity. I fumbled to uncover my guitar. I hadn't touched it since losing my sight. I played a piece from memory, tried by my fingers on the strings, played quite a few wrong notes. It was a classic rock song. I once heard it on the streets of New York. Honestly, Mark plays with more soul. I didn't know when Sarah came to stand behind me. I smiled slightly. Before, there was someone else who'd praise me no matter how terrible my playing was. In my senior year, when I first fell in love with guitar, I could only play a few simple tunes. After finishing a simple chord practice, a girl outside the windowsill rested her chin, smiling widely. Hey there, you're pretty good at guitar. She was my only audience, Elena. Conversations about her were always buzzing around on campus. She was beautiful, from a good family, yet few dared to approach her. Rumors had it that she fought, drank, and was rebellious. Only I saw her teach those bullies a lesson. She fought to protect bullied students, but she never explained away her actions. Drinking? Well, that one was true. I told her, Elena, drinking isn't good for you. She'd hide the bottle whenever she saw me. Oh, so you know me after all? My reputation precedes me. I nodded. Yeah, I do. What's your name? It wasn't her first time asking for my name. When she caught me seeing her fight, she asked, Hey, what's your name? I still didn't tell her. During that pandemic time, I always wore a mask in front of her. I could blend into the crowd, and she'd never find me. Rumors about someone named Mark were worse than the ones about Elena back then. I didn't want to expose myself. The more curious she was, the more I wanted to run away. Until one time, hearing a noise from a rooftop fight, I saw Elena at a disadvantage. I charged in, shielding her. A blow landed on my back, and I grunted in pain. Elena turned into an enraged lioness, dispatching them swiftly. She held me in a panic, with a look on her face I'd never seen before. Afraid to touch my injury, she tried to remove my mask, but I stopped her. Allergic, looks ugly. I made an excuse. I still couldn't let her see me. Elena cursed. Really? Now's not the time to worry about that. She carried me to the medical office and discovered I had not only taken a blow, but had a cut on my back. The doctor said it might leave a scar. Getting stitches, I squeezed her arm. She was trembling even more. Afterward, she mocked herself. Turns out they were right. Being near me really brings bad luck. At that moment, my heart ached for Elena. Scary rumors. I knew too well, even more than her since I was trapped deeper. Afterward, Elena started avoiding me too. We didn't cross paths for a long time. The last time I saw Elena in our teenage years was in the music room where we first met. By then, I could play many songs, and she suddenly appeared, asking me to replay that first chord progression for her. I agreed. This time, no mistakes, but my fingers were trembling. She praised me, saying I'd improved a lot. Almost graduation, I mustered the courage to promise her. After college exams, I'd tell her everything about me. Elena chuckled, ruffling my hair. All right. But then she suddenly vanished. Without warning, she left, leaving her promise to me, and disappeared from my world. Later, even the pick she casually gifted me was lost, as if she was never in my life. Yet secretly I cherished her for years, until I saw her again in business 5 years later. She hadn't changed much, only more beautiful and outstanding. but her eyes weren't as spirited as back then. Upon introduction by elders, she shook my hand politely, but distantly. "Hello, Mr. Mark." She finally knew my name, but didn't know I was that scared kid from before. Or maybe she'd forgotten about him altogether. As memories unravel like threads, once you fall into them, there's no easy escape. By the time I snapped back to reality, my face was wet with tears. Sarah had been silently standing behind me for quite a while. Seeing me wipe my eyes, she handed me a tissue and gently said, "Mark, you should cry less. Don't hurt your eyes." My eyelashes fluttered a bit. "Sarah, can you call me by my name? I don't like being called Mr. Mark." Whether it was the first time in 5 years I saw Elena, and she awkwardly called me Mr. Mark, or when Brad accused me of pushing him, yet Elena defended him and called him Brad while I was Mr. Mark. Sarah was slightly taken aback, then patted my shoulder comfortingly. "Okay, Mark." The next day, I said I didn't want a checkup. To my surprise, Sarah agreed for once and took me out for a drive. She said, "Getting out, keeping a happy mood is a kind of therapy too." I stood on the beach, feeling the waves gently sweep across my ankles. Sarah carefully followed behind me. Hearing others talking about me, I wasn't too sensitive anymore. On the way back, Sarah suddenly stopped the car. After a moment, she hesitantly said, "I think it's Elena." I pressed my lips together and said, "Sarah, just take me home." "She's alone out there, looking drunk," Sarah said. "I'll bring her along. She's prone to doing silly stuff when drunk." I didn't say anything else. The front seat belt had issues, so Sarah helped Elena into the back seat. She sat next to me, reeking of alcohol and half-conscious. This girl hardly ever drank like this. "Mark, bear with it. I'll get her home soon." As the car turned a corner, Elena slumped onto me. I pushed her, and her head bumped against the window. "Mark." In a daze, she called my name. For a moment, the car was eerily silent. Finally arriving at Elena's house, Sarah helped her out. I didn't expect to see Brad there, too. He shouted incredulously, "Mark, why are you with Elena?" I didn't want to deal with him. I just wanted to leave quickly. But Elena's mother came up. "Mark, did you bring her back? Come in and have a seat with Auntie." I forced a smile. "Auntie, you've got other guests. I won't intrude." Elena's mom quickly grabbed my hand. "What guests? This gentleman came uninvited and insisted on waiting. I didn't plan on hosting him. Auntie hasn't seen Mark in ages. Come in and let Auntie have a look. Have you been well?" Lena's parents felt guilty towards me, so they seemed to care about me even more. Passing by Brad, although I couldn't see, I could sense his heavy resentment and jealousy. "Brad, please leave," Elena's mom said coldly. "I want to see Elena," Brad said, undeniably aggrieved. At that moment, Elena groggily called out, "Mark!" Everyone froze. She was drunk, and yet she kept calling my name. Elena's mother was the first to react, happily patting my hand and saying, "Our girl always has Mark on her mind." Those words seemed aimed at Brad. So afterward, it wasn't surprising that Brad tried various ways to find me alone. I was walking in the community garden with my guide dog. Brad came towards me. "Mark, here's some cigars I got for you," he said, shoving a box into my hand. "Though you can't see, at least you can enjoy the aroma." I frowned and tossed the box aside. "Mark, I bought it just for you. Throwing it away isn't very nice, is it?" The barbs in his words were blatant. "Brad, say what you need. I don't have time for games." Brad snickered. "I told you not to get involved with Elena. Why didn't you listen? Do you think with your blind eyes you can cling to her? No matter how handsome you are or how good your family is, you're still blind. Do you deserve her? The surroundings seemed empty. Brad finally revealed his true colors. I tightened my grip on the guide dog's leash. Then, Brad, have a little confidence in yourself. I didn't want to stay longer, but he blocked my path. I'm confident, of course. Then suddenly Brad lowered his voice, almost whispering in my ear. But I'm afraid you're like your father, with a knack for wooing women. My heart sank, and I instinctively slapped him hard. I hit accurately with force. Yet he didn't get mad. He actually laughed. Sorry, but back in high school, everyone knew what kind of guy you were. I knew he was trying to provoke me, yet my hand still shook with anger. My parents were a blended family. In my senior year, my dad and I moved into my stepmom's home. My mom was already a renowned entrepreneur, well off, and was kind to both my dad and me. Dad soon got Mom pregnant, and because of her age, they went abroad to ensure a safe pregnancy. While I was studying alone at home, an anonymous online post spread rumors about me. A certain famous female entrepreneur had remarried, supposedly to a gold digger husband after her fortune. Mark was the son of this gold digger. How he and his dad climbed the social ladder using their looks. The rumors snowballed, and neither teachers nor police helped, despite my reports. Fearing it would affect Mom's pregnancy, I never told the family. I thought once I graduated, all the rumors would fade. Slowly, I became insecure, sensitive. When I met Elena later, I still couldn't tell her my name. I was scared she'd be like the others. All these years, Brad's reappearance ripped open my old wounds. Remember now? One family of lowlifes, Dad climbed up by, freeloading. Now the son's seducing someone's girlfriend. Shut up! Finally, unable to suppress my rage, I pushed him hard in the direction of his voice. Brad fell down the stairs and broke his leg. Last time he got burned by surveillance footage, so this time he used it to his advantage. There was no sound on the footage. It just showed him bringing things to me throwing them away, slapping him, and pushing him down the stairs. Old posts were dug up, and it became a trending topic. When Brad was interviewed at the hospital, his voice was weak and frail. I went to apologize, hoping he wouldn't blame Elena. Didn't expect him to hate me so much. Sarah turned off the video and said to me, "Don't listen to it." I asked her, "Sarah, do you believe him? Or that post?" Sarah chuckled. "I believe you. It's nice to have someone trust me." When Elena came to me, I felt no emotional fluctuation. She asked, "Mark, what happened?" I looked up sarcastically, saying, "What happened? Didn't Brad tell you?" "Elena, I told you if he messes with me again, I'd really take action." Elena raised her voice. "Mark, that's too much." Sarah interrupted her. "Mark couldn't see. It wasn't on purpose." I raised my eyebrow. "No, I did it on purpose." "Elena, does Brad want me to apologize? Tell him to wait. I'll do as he wishes. Does he think I'm still the scared little rabbit of rumors I once was?" While Brad was manipulating public opinion and putting me under the spotlight, I collected all the evidence and hired the best lawyer. Before suing Brad, I had Elena take me to see him in the hospital. In the car, Elena said in a complicated tone, "You could just apologize. I'll handle things with him." I was actually surprised, thinking Elena would have sided with Brad against me. When we reached the hospital, a bunch of reporters suddenly appeared. "Mr. Mark, are you here to apologize to Brad? Is the online post true?" About Brad's injury, Elena shielded me and quickly got us through the crowd. In the elevator, I subtly distanced myself from her. "Elena, do you want to know the answers to those questions too?" She didn't respond. Seeing me, Brad got extremely agitated. He cried out, "Elena, I don't want to see him." I smiled. "Oh? Weren't you waiting for me? Waiting for me to bow down and beg for your forgiveness?" He calmed down. "Mr. Mark, at this point there's no need for pretenses." I nodded. "Right, let's skip that. Brad, you manipulated things to say you were caring and apologizing when I lashed out, right?" He was taken aback, then sought sympathy from Elena. "Elena, he did hit me." He knew the surveillance was in his favor, and when I realized he was provoking me, I had already secretly started recording. I played the recording. "Blind guy, think you're worthy of her? Your whole family's trash. Dad climbed up by leeching off others, and now the son is after someone else's girlfriend." Brad's words were sharp and vile, crystal clear. Suddenly the room fell into an eerie silence. "Brad, is this your idea of caring for me?" Brad trembled, calling for Elena. "Elena, it wasn't me." At this moment, I really wanted to see Elena's expression. Then Brad gritted his teeth. "So what? Am I wrong? You caused my injury? Right or wrong? I'll show you soon." "Elena, do you think I should apologize?" Elena stifled her emotions, came forward and held my hand. "Let's head back." Behind, Brad screamed desperately. "Elena, don't go with him, don't leave me." On the way back, Elena didn't speak a word. After dropping me off, she said, "Mark, what do you plan to do next?" I asked, "What, still going to shield him?" She gave a bitter smile. "Take care of yourself." After she left, I stood at the doorway for a while, until the wind got cold, waking me up. I notified the lawyers, filing a lawsuit against Brad. Before this, I hadn't found who posted those defamatory comments years ago, until Brad's issues and those posts went viral. Following the trail, I discovered it was him the whole time. It was Brad. Back then he'd been friendly while spreading rumors behind my back. Now he's only gotten worse. I can't let him get away with it. Soon a formal lawsuit buried those fabrications. After releasing the full recording, I had Brad's injury assessed. Turns out his leg wasn't broken, just minor scratches. He insisted on staying in the hospital, claiming he was in unbearable pain with a risk of complications. He must have calculated the fall perfectly, knowing no one would question his injury. I sued for the defamation from high school and his recent attempt at stirring public sentiment against me. When all the evidence was presented, the narrative shifted completely. Brad had fabricated and circulated falsehoods, which constituted defamation, leading to his temporary detainment. I refused to settle, demanding a public apology and compensation for emotional distress. Soon enough, he became the town's laughingstock, his actions laid bare. Don't become a pawn of online harassment. Brad's orchestrated drama was unraveled. Oh my God, what's real? Such a toxic guy. He was stealing someone else's fiancée. With that acting, why not become an actor? Mr. Mark's been so wronged, constantly slandered. Sarah told me Elena wasn't doing well. She's been drinking daily, trying to escape it all. And when Brad got out, he'd relentlessly pester her, shamelessly. Later, Elena came to see me. I smelled the alcohol on her and made her some honey water. At this point, I had settled into life as a blind person. Elena didn't take the water I offered. Instead, she suddenly hugged me tightly. Startled, I pushed her away. "Look at who I am, Elena," she said. I chuckled coldly. "You should be with your Brad. He must be having a hard time now." "I'm sorry," she said. I didn't know how to react. Even when she ran away from her wedding, she never said sorry to me. She slumped down, speaking almost to herself. "I never thought he would turn out like this. Back then he was different from everyone else." I said, "He's always been like that. You just didn't know." She let out a self-mocking laugh. Mark, I was never really with him. When I finally found him again, something just didn't feel right inside. But with you, you were always messing with my heart. That feeling was awful, like I could never freely love anyone, trapped in a no-win situation. Back then, I could have loved him so wholeheartedly, loved when he played piano for me, loved when he went all out for me, even though I didn't know his name or had never seen his face. The cup in my hand fell to the ground, and a buzzing filled my ears. I frantically kneeled, reaching out to find her arm, trembling uncontrollably. What did you say? Elena looked down. I felt something in her hand when I touched it, a familiar feeling. A pick. The shape and texture were just like the pick Elena gave me, which I had lost. She didn't seem to notice I was upset, continuing on her own. I thought I'd never find him again, until Brad showed up with the pick I gave him, telling me old stories. It was me leaving without a word before, so I've always felt guilty towards him. The unexpected truth shattered the last defense in my heart. I bit my lip but couldn't stop the tears from falling. Elena's first love was me? Brad stole my past, my pick, my secrets, and went to Elena's side. No wonder back then Brad would imitate what I liked, and people said he looked like me with the mask on. She thought he was me, making up for the debts she owed to me, but kept hurting me deeply. Elena, oh Elena, how do I face you now? Elena fell asleep at my place, while I sat by the window all night. When she woke up, she asked me hesitantly, "Why am I here?" I answered, "You were drunk last night and crashed at my place." "What about you?" I remembered a lot of things. She waited in silence for me to continue. My fingers brushed over the guitar. "Elena, want what? To hear me play the guitar? You—" I raised my hand and slowly played a tune. Elena went quiet. When I finished, I told her, "Have you heard Don't Cry? It was the first song I learned. Once, someone loved to hear me play this song." Something fell from Elena's hand to the floor. I think it was that pick. After a long pause, she asked, her voice shaking, "Who was that person?" I said, "That person was named Elena. I loved her, but she left me and disappeared. I never saw her again, and never will see that Elena from back then." "It was you. It always was you?" She seemed to be in a lot of pain. "How can this be? And that Brad—" I took off my coat, my bare back facing her. "There's a scar back there, a mark from a wound I took for her." "Elena, Brad can steal my past, but he can't take this scar." I heard Elena's shaky footsteps. She walked behind me, her heated gaze on my back. Her cool fingers traced over the scar. Then she wrapped me in a coat. Elena held me tightly, her tears burning on my shoulder. "It was you. It was always you." She trembled violently, crying and laughing. "I should have noticed sooner. How didn't I realize? Mark, I'm sorry. I'm truly sorry. I came too late. I will never leave you again. Never." "It's too late. Elena, all this time you protected Brad. I thought of countless ways you two might be in love, but I never thought you were seeing him as me. Let's take a step back and calm down." Having this revelation with her, knowing it all now, kind of set me free. When Sarah came over, I was a wreck. "Turn away. Don't look at me." Sarah whispered, "Okay." I walked over and buried my face in her back, sobbing. I didn't know how long we stayed like that, until she turned and gently hugged me. When I had no more energy to cry, I said, "Sarah, take me abroad. Let's go get treatment. The farther the better." Elena's backstory. All along, I had the wrong person. Originally, I was going to marry him that day. No wonder, I thought. He was so special back then. Felt like he understood me so well. Because of a sudden illness, I was sent abroad to recuperate. That's why I couldn't say goodbye to him, didn't wait to hear his name. I was in a rush, desperate to find proof showing that I left without a word because I was forced to, proving that I always loved him. But how do I make amends for the hurt I've caused him? I thoroughly investigated Brad. We went to the same high school, and Brad did some pretty shady stuff behind the scenes. I was blind, fooled by him completely. When he appeared before me again and said I should think about our past relationship, it was laughable. Our past relationship? I yanked my hand away, watching him fall to the ground in error. What past relationship? A stolen one? Brad, you started scheming in the shadows when you'd spy on Mark and me back then, didn't you? Brad's face turned pale. Elena, what are you saying? I wiped my hands clean. Don't call my name. It's tainted. Brad, you made me the biggest fool in the world. He clung to my leg. Was the past really that important? You did like me at some point, right? Never did, I said. If I hadn't mistaken you for someone else, I wouldn't have even glanced at you in this lifetime. I kicked him away and turned to leave. Elena, if you leave me, I'll end it all. Brad climbed onto the window. I turned back. Really? He probably thought I'd have a change of heart. I knew you wouldn't. 3 floors might not kill you, but you're welcome to try. He's despicable, and so am I. But someone like him would never actually do it. Brad, if your apology letter isn't sincere enough in 3 days, more of your shameless deeds will start to get exposed. Don't believe me? Go check your email. If those things can show up in your inbox, they can appear elsewhere too, just like the posts you made to frame Mark. Later, I waited for days outside Mark's house. His parents couldn't hold it in and told me he and Sarah went abroad for treatment. I couldn't get in touch with him, so I crazily pressured Sarah. Where did you take him? Tell me, please, tell him for me. Brad won't bother him anymore. I'll do whatever he wants. Sarah sighed. Mark says he doesn't want you bothering him either. He said it doesn't matter anymore. None of it matters to me either. Right, after all, he's lost his sight. What else would he care about? What did I do? I made a man who took a knife and beatings for me, and now lost his sight for me, never want to see me again. I started having nightmares every night. I dreamt about that wedding. By then I was already moved, wasn't I? But I could only experience the scene of me leaving Mark at the altar over and over in my dreams. He stood there alone and scared, eyes blank. Then desperately saying to me, Elena, I won't marry you. I wish you freedom. I went to America with Sarah, and Dave came too. Dave said he just wanted to play around, but I knew he was worried about me and didn't want to hurt my fragile pride. Sarah said my depression symptoms were getting worse. I wasn't too sad, just more spaced out, feeling the world was as empty as my sight. I never heard about Elena again. Sarah stayed in touch with Elena secretly, avoiding me when she did. Brad posted an apology online. Dave excitedly told me, "Didn't work. Still not sincere enough. Apologies didn't come through, he just acted pathetic the whole time. But nobody bought it. He got slammed online. So satisfying. And they dug up a bunch of dirt on Brad too. Turns out his dad was a boy toy for some rich lady. No wonder he's so shady. His dad ditched him when he hooked up with her. Serves him right. And get this, Brad got hounded by reporters and pelted with rotten eggs by some kind strangers. Ha 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 ha. He even got hit by a car trying to run away and for real broke a leg this time. Ha ha ha. What goes around comes around. I wonder if Elena still... At that point, Dave suddenly stopped talking, seeing I didn't react. He coughed twice. Ahem. I'm gonna get you some water. Stay put. As soon as Dave walked away, I accidentally dropped my phone. I crouched down, feeling around on the ground for a bit. A hand picked it up and handed it to me. Thanks. I smiled. The person didn't say anything but seemed to linger for a moment. I've met quite a few kind people during my time abroad. Every now and then, I'd receive a little help. They didn't care about my sight. They just assumed I had some inconvenience and would kindly look out for me. So I told Sarah not to worry too much about me. I could live well on my own. She was a great doctor and should help more people rather than spend too much energy on me. Sarah just gently patted my head. "You're different." Then she took a call, and I realized it was urgent. "Sarah, you should go." She uneasily patted my hand. "Stay right here. I've called Dave." As soon as Sarah left, a strange woman came up to talk to me. "Hey, handsome, I've been watching you. You're blind, aren't you?" She spoke a foreign language. Her tone made me uncomfortable, so I pretended not to understand and ignored her. Out of nowhere, she laughed and tried to grab my hand. "Don't touch me." I backed away in a panic. "Such a handsome guy, and he's really blind?" Someone else chimed in. "Isn't it more interesting when he's blind?" This was the first time since I lost my sight that I felt truly scared. A store staff came to stop them, but got cursed at and left. I clutched my phone trying to make a call, but it quickly got snatched away too. In my panic, a glass bottle suddenly smashed, making a loud noise. I was so scared I crouched on the ground. Damn, where did this Asian woman come from? I couldn't hear the rest clearly, just knew someone got into a fight with them. It was chaotic, with only the sounds of punches, kicks, and their yelling and cries of pain, until someone called the police and they scattered. I calmed my nerves. After talking to the police, I found out someone saved me. It was a Chinese person. The police took me to her. "Miss, are you all right?" I asked, worried. "I heard you got hurt. I reached out, accidentally touching her. Only then did she let out a cry of pain. Before that, she hadn't made a sound. My heart started racing, until Dave came running, hugging me. "Mark, what's wrong? You all right? Who's this?" At the hospital, Sarah hurried over. "Mark? What happened?" Dave quietly explained to her. "That moment you left, Mark got into trouble. Elena saved him. Elena got hurt in the fight, and hasn't woken up yet." I sat blankly in front of the operating room. Sarah hugged me. "It's okay now. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have left." I opened my mouth but didn't know what to say. But at that moment I really wished I could see. The bed moved a bit. I knew Elena was awake, but she still didn't say anything. "You're awake? I'll go get the doctor." I got up, and she grabbed my hand. "Are you all right?" "Get up." Why? Does she keep apologizing to me? Is she sorry I found out because she didn't hide well enough? I gently pulled my hand away. "Elena, we're even. I saved you before. You saved me now. You don't owe me anything anymore." She struggled to sit up. "No, I won't bother you. Mark, please don't send me away. Even if things stay like this, as long as I can—" I stopped her from moving. "Don't move." The moment she woke up, I thought I can forgive her. Forgive all our misunderstandings, the debts between us. Go back to being strangers like before we met. Sarah said Elena kept asking where I was. I asked, "Was she hiding near me the whole time?" Sarah nodded. I gave a bitter smile. "Send her back. She and I have nothing to do with each other anymore." The fall rain in America has been going on for quite a while. The sky is so gray and gloomy it affects my mood. Dave went back to China. He couldn't stay with me forever. Sarah's busy too. I've been staying in the hospital, looked after by a caretaker. That night, there was a thunderstorm. I had a nightmare. I don't remember much, just a silhouette and a beam of light. But no matter how hard I tried, I couldn't reach it. An unexplained sadness swept over me. I suddenly wanted to call Sarah. When she picked up, her voice sounded tired. "Sorry, Mark, I've been swamped." Hearing her, I felt slightly reassured. "It's no big deal. I'm doing fine. You too." "Mark," she called my name again, her voice heavy and hoarse. I waited quietly. After a long silence, she gently said, "Hang in there. I'll see you in a couple of days." I couldn't sleep the entire night after hanging up. I called my parents in the morning. It took a few tries for them to answer. "Mark, we're doing great. Listen to Sarah, all right? Everything will be fine." Everything seemed normal, but why did I feel so anxious? A few days later, Sarah visited me. Her steps quickened as she approached. Before I realized, she pulled me into a hug. Her coat smelled of disinfectant. I was a bit stunned, not knowing where to place my hands. She let go and held my shoulders, her fingertips pressing slightly. "Mark, there's a suitable cornea for you. You will regain your sight." My heartbeat quickened. Sight. I didn't know how to react. I just reached to touch Sarah's face. Her voice sounded a bit off. Sure enough, my fingers felt wet. She was crying. "Why are you crying?" Sarah held my hand, trembling slightly. "I'm happy for you." She's so sentimental. Before long, I was on the operating table. Sarah was my surgeon. She told me when I opened my eyes, the first thing I'd see would be her. Post-surgery, my eyes healed well. Eventually, I was able to open my eyes. My parents rushed over, crying tears of joy in the room. I waved my hand in the air and saw a gentle figure not far away. I smiled. "Sarah, I can't see you clearly just yet." At my words, Sarah came closer, squatting before me, wiping my tears. "No crying yet." This was my first time seeing Sarah. She looked as gentle and refined as her voice. Beautiful. "What? Did you think I was some scruffy doctor?" I finally held back my tears. My parents excitedly thanked Sarah. "Sarah, we can't thank you enough. If there's anything we can do, just say the word. Or how about this, we give you Mark." Laughing with Dave, I choked on my water. "Mom, what are you saying?" my dad chimed in. Right. Sarah won't reject our Mark, will she?" Then Dave chimed in sarcastically. "How could she? She's wanted him for ages." After some time, my eyes were fully healed. My parents stayed with me abroad for quite a while, so I suggested returning home together. Strangely, they refused. No matter how I asked, they avoided the topic. They claimed life was good for me here. One night, I couldn't sleep. Fetching water, I noticed their room light was still on. Dave was there too. "Uncle, Aunt, Mark will find out sooner or later. But not now. His eyes just healed. But he's asked me about the cornea's origin multiple times. What should we do? Tell him directly that it's Elena." I suddenly pushed the door open. "What are you talking about?" I booked the earliest flight back home, heading straight to Elena's house. The entire trip I kept telling myself it's all lies. But after knocking for ages, a maid finally said, "Madam's at the cemetery." The cemetery. I felt all the strength drain from me. The first snow had arrived in China. Elena's mother, dressed thinly, seemed to have aged since I last saw her. Her hair had gone whiter. She glanced at me, her eyes unreadable. "Elena, Mark's here. It's so cold." I moved forward and saw the photo on the tombstone, its inscription. I reached out, tracing over each word, Elena's grave. Overwhelmed by grief, I couldn't hold on and collapsed in front of her grave. In the darkness, I saw that silhouette once more. Lonely, determined. When I opened my eyes, Elena's mother was there. "Don't move. Let me see her eyes. Elena's eyes." I stared ahead, letting my tears flow like a flood. Elena's mom was frantically wiping away my tears. Don't cry. Don't ruin them. These are the last things Elena left behind. Sarah rushed back. With red eyes, I clung to her sleeve. Sarah, I don't want these eyes. Can you somehow bring her back? That's when Sarah told me everything. Elena had a heart condition. 3 months ago, she was driving late at night and her heart suddenly stopped, causing an accident. They managed to revive her, but the injuries were too severe. Her eyes were the only things left unharmed. In her last moments, she insisted on giving them to me. Everyone knows what happened next. I went into surgery full of hope, but Elena's heart stopped forever. I finally understood why 18-year-old Elena left without a word. Later I realized she'd been looking for me just as long. I often visit Elena's mom. She always stares at me as if looking through my eyes to see the person she misses. She said, "Mark, after you left, Elena's heart went with you. She was lost all the time and would drunkenly mutter about how she wished she'd found you sooner. But I'm her mom, of course I know. Before she knew anything, even when marrying you, her heart was set on you. She just couldn't see clearly, and that's why mistakes were made. Mark, can you forgive her?" Elena's mom, tears in her eyes, gently brushed her hands over my face. Forgiveness was something Elena held on to till the end. But honestly, was it really all her fault? "Elena, didn't you say you'd never leave me again? I promised you. Should I play the guitar for you? Would you like that? Do I truly not love or blame her?" When I found out she mistook me for Brad, do I feel relieved or more shocked that she said she loved me? Now all I can touch is a cold tombstone. Elena, if there's a next life, don't mistake me for someone else again.